Hey, Valerie. Welcome back to this side of the camera once again.
Glad to be here and not on the other side of the camera.
So, we've been talking a lot about the brand voice and how the brand voice really impacts how our community responds to us and engages to us. We talked about how the brand voice engages a community, and then last time we talked about how to share technical details with our customer in a way that they understand. Fact is, whatever the industry is, if it's the pool cleaning industry or the automotive industry or medical or whatever, if the customer understood our industry as well as we did, they wouldn't be our customer, right? So we need to make sure that we're communicating in a way that shows the value of our service to our customer, not just using what I like to call intellectual violence to beat our customer down with the fact that we know more about our product than they do.
Yeah, they have to understand what we are trying to work with them, what they are trying to sell to them, what they are trying to offer to them in a
Right.
clear way. And that's what we talked about in the last blog and the last video. So we did. So it is important to be clear with the customer. And well, here we are going to talk about more like how to keep your AI, your human voice, even using AI.
So one thing I want to be careful of, and I talked to Alex about this when we were talking about automation without losing the human voice. I used to hire content creators that were humans to write content for our website, and they sucked. It was obviously human, but the content had no value because while it was obviously human, it was also uneducated. They did not understand what they were writing about. And so just making sure that it sounds human is one thing, but we also have to make sure that it brings value, that the content is intelligent and valuable, not just that it has a human sound to it, right?
Yeah, it is important because, well, when you're trying to create the content for the social media, for the web page, I think you have to know about what you are talking about. You have to learn from the people that it's working on that on my side. I have to have meetings with you, know what you are talking about, know what the project right now that we are working maybe in the week or maybe in the month it's about. Like I have to know. And even we can use AI for this and we use AI, but you have to also educate the tool that you are
Yep.
working with. Because you can say, make me a copy about tech staffing. Okay, and and the AI obviously it's going to do it, but it's not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do it maybe in a way that people is going to understand, or it's going to give you the message that you are trying to project to your community, or it's going to look like AI and like a robot wrote it, and it's not going to make any sense. So it is important for you to educate, to tell you, okay, I spoke with my boss about this. We had this conversation. Our month project, it's this one. Our month goal, it's that one. And we are
Yeah.
trying to connect in this way with the customer.
So I think more than saying keeping a human voice, I think it's more important to use AI to push your brand voice. So, not just make it sound like a human. My daughter's been working with me for a while. She's done a lot of events. If I bring her out here to start talking about dimensional data design, she will be a human talking about something she has no idea what she's talking about. If I go into AI and say, sound like a human, talk about branding strategies, it'll do it. It'll sound like a human ish. It's probably going to say things like lives at the crossroads between two things that don't cross, or this one cuts deep, or the all these other phrases that you could tell out as AI. But what it can't do is it can't push your brand forward. So I love creating content with AI. I love creating content fast. I could go and I could hire 100 content creators and we could manually create a lot of content quickly. But if it doesn't push my brand voice forward, it doesn't engage my community, it doesn't express authority and provide value, what's the point?
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have like 100 people writing you copies, writing you content. When that content doesn't give you any value to your brand, to your personal brand, to your community, to your business, because it's not what you're trying to communicate. It's not the image you are trying to build. So, I mean, it is important for the people behind the scenes and the people using the tool know what you want to communicate, know what the personal brand of the person you are trying to build it's about. You have to learn, you have to know the topic, you have to know what the person is trying also to communicate, what the business, what the company is trying to communicate, what the company is trying to sell, and what you want to communicate to your people, to your community. It is important, and it is also important for people to know, to understand what you are trying to communicate. I mean, it all goes like connected. It is all connected in a way that if you do that in the way that people understand you, that your community, your business, it's aligned with the vision, with what you're trying to sell. And it's always like the content aligned and it always makes sense. And if you go from this post to another, to the web page, to the social media, and it looks the same, it makes like that connection, it is connected. It's like, okay, you have made it.
Yeah, it needs to be cohesive. So let's talk about this from an actual implementation perspective. Because obviously we could say use AI, but make sure that it sounds human or supports your brand. And a lot of people want to do that, but they don't know how. So I know one of the things that we do, and our friend Fernando Labastida over at Viral Genius, he helped us learn how to implement this. And that is the best way to make sure that your voice is human is to use your voice. So we start off by doing this. We talk. We talk about things that we're passionate about, things that we know well, and we record that. You pushed record, right? Yeah. Okay. So we record that.
I think so.
We record that, we take the transcript, and now we have a context. And then we can go in and say, okay, let's do something with this. Now, the next part that a lot of people miss is just because we're having an engaging conversation and that it's an enjoyable conversation, that does not mean that it automatically supports your brand values. So if you have a GPT that's trained with your brand values, that's trained with your brand voice, with details about your community and your audience, now you could take a transcript and put it into that GPT and it can come back and say, okay, here are the topics that are discussed in this article that have your authority, that can promote your values. And we do that, now we're able to very quickly say, okay, give me 6 shorts from this content, or how many shorts do I have? And it'll tell you, here's 4 shorts that support your brand voice, your brand value, and help you achieve your goals and engage your community from human voice of you and me talking. And Valerie, I think it would be really great for you to actually do a demonstration that we can add on to a future article on the how-to, because I think that our viewers would be really interested in seeing exactly how we do. Now we do that, and we can create something that Fernando Labastida calls the social media cascade. So, okay, here's the blog article that came directly from your transcript. All right, here is a long form video and 4 short-term form videos. Here's 4 quotes to make into a still. And from one 15-minute video, we could end up with 30 artifacts. And those artifacts can be designed to go on X, on Facebook, Instagram. Still going to get into the TikTok. I still have to work on the dance. We'll get in there. But this is, and then we take that into some tools such as Phrase, our SEO tool, and we can search engine optimize blog posts and create automatically that social deck for carousels in Instagram. And so there's so many ways for us to take our voice and our authority and use artificial intelligence to amplify that. For me, that's the right way to do it. I don't want AI to speak for me. I want AI to amplify my voice.
Exactly, and that's the important part. I mean, the best way we can use your voice, use our voices, and know what we are trying to communicate, it is this. So you record, you have an idea, and you record it. You say whatever is on your mind, obviously aligned to the company, to what we are.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we use this content. I mean, I watch it, I overwatch it, I start the edit part, then I get the transcript out, I go into GPT and I tell them, okay, so I have already GPT trained, like, okay, this is our voice, this is what our business is about, this is what Isaac is trying to communicate to the audience. Here is what he knows, here is his experience, what he knows about, what he likes to talk about, his favorite words. And okay, help me to create this in copies, in some content for the week, how we can make this into a short, which part are the most important parts to highlight and to cut those parts and to share it on YouTube, on Instagram Reels, on LinkedIn, and all the social media we have, even on the webpage. It helps you create like that face that people gets to know. And since you are our CEO, it is important for people to know that there is a face that they can connect with the brand, connect with the company. So they see.
Yeah, if they call us, we're going to be talking to us, not an AI. And you have studied and worked in the content creation community management space for a long time. A long time. I have been doing this with the founder-led marketing and building a personal brand for several years now. But we have expertise, we have knowledge in this space, and we're real humans, and we really care about our customers. So we can maintain the humanity while also amplifying that, doing things faster, doing things. Now, at first, we were using Riverside Magic Clips, and they're fun, but they would always cut off. Like I would be getting really excited. Yeah, this is great. It's saying exactly the right. It stops. Like it didn't. It wouldn't ever actually like hammer the nail down all the way. It would introduce the topic and then stop because it was just looking for a rolling set of 30 seconds, 60 seconds. It wasn't really trained on our brand voice. And that's where the GPTs, and then we take that into a cut script, and it tells you where to cut and where to find the content so much faster than if you were manually watching. Oh, I got to remember 40 videos and catalog all this. We can train the GPT into that and take all of the transcript, put it into Google Drive, and have that loaded into a GPT project, and have the project aware of what we said and where. And now we can create content that's highly valuable in our voice way faster than we ever could have done before.
Yeah, I mean, we always do the human part first. We
Yeah.
record, we talk about what we are trying to. I talk with you what we are trying to communicate this week, what the social media topics are going to be about. So it is important also to have that clear. So you are taking that topic in that week and only making content about that. It doesn't have to be the same thing over and over again. You can
No.
make a lot of content. You can make a video, you can make carousel, you can make a lot of content about one topic with one bit. I mean, we can make one video a week and we get content for like the whole week, the 5 days. We can make shorts, we upload a full episode on YouTube. And also it helps to bring that face to the community so people watch. That's the guy from Contolo. That's the guy who talks about social media. That's the guy who talks about tech staffing or how to build your startup from zero to a successful business. So it is important for people to know about you, about your company, and know that your brand is aligned to what you're trying to give, what you're trying to communicate.
Yeah, let's go ahead and schedule some how-to videos so that we can show our audience how to actually do that. Because I think that's going to be really important. Now, one thing to be very aware of: ChatGPT will not be overly critical of you. Every idea that you have, it's going to think it's a good idea. Actually, I was working on my Catalyst Effect book, and I was just like, I want ChatGPT to tell me I'm wrong about something. So I'm like, I literally said, I am going to write the first chapter in blood. And it came back and said, what a powerful way to express your dedication to this topic. Don't do too much, but definitely write the first chapter in blood. I'm like, this was always a bad idea. Like, why can't it ever just say, that's a bad idea? So you do have to. I tell people that experts still exist for a reason. You're never going to replace a professional doing their job. So as you're out there and you're saying, "Hey, here's my marketing strategy. What do you think?" ChatGPT is always going to tell you it's a good idea. So it's a good idea to get someone like us, where we don't mind telling you, "Hey, that's actually not a good idea, and here's why, and here's a better path to take." And then once you're strategically aligned, let ChatGPT and whatever your AI agent of choice is help you fuel that.
When you are trying to give to ChatGPT your content and what you are trying to give, like even if it's a copy for LinkedIn or content idea, videos idea for Reels, for YouTube, or for whatever, it's important to train ChatGPT to tell them, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm trying to reach, these are my goals for this, and here is the message that I want to give. And from this part, from this, maybe you can write the idea of what you want to give, of what you're trying to connect, what you're trying to sell to the person, and what your company is about, what your product is about, and then you send it. And you also have to read the whole thing that ChatGPT gives you, that it's aligned, that it makes sense, that it's not like too robotic, or it's using too much like language or words that people is not going to understand. So you have to make sure, and then you can make some you can rewrite that, or you can get the ideas that you like and use them or reuse them, or tell ChatGPT, okay, I like this and this and this and this part, make it more simpler, or change these words for this one, or maybe change the approach to that one. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Valerie. All right. Well, thanks so much for being here. And I think that we'll be talking again next week.
thank you.